Hey everybody, welcome back. So glad you can join us again for another deep dive. Today we're going to look at something that can really help you improve your English. It's something that might sound a little scary, but trust me, it's not that bad and it's super useful to know. We're going to tackle the passive voice.
Yeah, the passive voice can be a little bit tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, you'll see that it can really help you to sound more natural and fluent in English.
Exactly. And can even make you sound a little bit smarter too. But before we get into all of that, let's start with the basics.
Right. What exactly is the passive voice?
I'm glad you asked. That's what we're here to find out.
Okay, so the passive voice is a way of structuring sentences in English where the focus is on the action itself rather than on who is performing the action. It's often used when the doer of the action is either unknown or unimportant.
So instead of saying, the cat chased the mouse,
Right, which is called the active voice.
you would say,
The mouse was chased by the cat.
I get it. So in the passive voice, the mouse is the one who is being acted upon, and the cat kind of fades into the background.
Exactly. And you can see how this can be really useful in certain situations. Like if you're writing a news report and you don't know who committed a crime, but you want to focus on the fact that the crime was committed, you might say, a bank was robbed last night.
Oh, that's a good example. Or if you're talking about a scientific discovery and you want to emphasize the discovery itself rather than the scientists who made it, you can say something like,
A new species of frog was discovered in the Amazon rainforest.
exactly. So the passive voice is all about shifting the focus of the sentence.
And it can also be useful for creating a more formal or objective tone, which is why it's often used in academic writing and news reports, as we just said.
Right. So now that we have a basic understanding of what the passive voice is, let's take a look at how to actually form it.
Sure. So the basic structure of a passive sentence is subject plus to be plus past participle.
Can you break that down a little bit for us? What do you mean by to be and past participle?
Of course. So to be is just the verb to be, as in is, am, are, was, were, and so on.
Right.
And the past participle is the form of a verb that usually ends in aa, like played, cooked, painted, although there are some irregular past participles like seen or gone.
Gotcha. So to form a passive sentence, you basically take the object of an active sentence and make it the subject of the passive sentence.
Exactly. And then you add the appropriate form of the verb to be and the past participle of the main verb.
Okay, so let's look at some examples. If we have the active sentence, the dog bit the man.
We can turn that into the passive sentence. The man was bitten by the dog.
Perfect. And if we have the active sentence, she is writing a letter.
We can make that passive by saying the letter is being written by her.
Great. So the passive voice might seem a little bit confusing at first, but once you understand the basic structure, it's actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and the more you practice using it, the more natural it will become.
Absolutely. And remember, the passive voice is a really useful tool to have in your English toolkit because it allows you to shift the focus of your sentences and create different effects in your writing.
Right. For example, you can use it to emphasize the action itself or to create a more formal or objective tone.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to experiment with the passive voice and see how it can help you to improve your English.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive on the passive voice. We hope you found it helpful and informative.
We sure did. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about the passive voice or any other aspect of English grammar, be sure to check out the links in the description below. We have a ton of great resources available there for you.
Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives on all sorts of fascinating language topics.
We'd love to have you join our community of language learners. And be sure to tell your friends about us, too.
We release new episodes every week, so there's always something new to learn. We hope you have a great day and happy learning.
Bye for now. See you next time.
See you, we'll raise it.